Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Rylo Rodriguez. Now, Rylo Rodriguez is a rapper that's closely associated with Lil Baby. And he's also down with Lil Baby's 4PF, 4 Pockets Full crew. You know what I mean? I think he's even signed with Lil Baby as an artist. Now, Rylo Rodriguez has been taking off, man. As soon as he associated with Lil Baby, things start going up for him because Lil Baby is one of the hottest rappers in the game right now, if not the hottest rapper in the game right now, depending on who you ask. Well, Rylo Rodriguez seems to be having a case that was hanging over his head. And it looks like that case finally caught up with him and Rylo Rodriguez had to get locked up or at least turn himself in. And man, the story, I'm going to be real about it, man. It's a little sketchy because some of the details that should be there aren't there, even if you look through the proper chains, man. And what I found out is some of the stuff that we're getting right now isn't the whole story. And some of this is being concealed for some reason that I can't put together. But it seems like Rylo Rodriguez was foreshadowing this event coming up. Now, before we get to the entire story and talk about Rylo Rodriguez letting everybody know this was coming, and then the day eventually coming and his mugshot appearing everywhere, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this Rylo Rodriguez situation and my dude getting locked up. Now, Rylo Rodriguez had let people know that this day was coming. There were posts that he was putting out there as far as back as a month ago that he was going to be turning himself in. Now, a lot of people thought this had already passed and maybe he didn't need to turn himself in. Or maybe the charges got dropped or whatever he was facing was no longer an issue. But yesterday, it seems that the rapper turned himself into authorities and now is sitting in a jail waiting on him being released, man. He might even be released by the time I'm making this video. But at this point in time, it looks like he doesn't even have a bond amount. So before we get into the specifics about the charges against him, let's go back a little bit, man, to a story that was put out there by hotnewhiphop.com. Now, it was around August time frame. Now, that was around the time that Rylo Rodriguez initially started to notify fans that he was going to have a case hanging over his head and that, man, he'll potentially have to turn himself in to authorities. Now, Rylo Rodriguez didn't seem like the troublemaking type of rapper. Yes, the content of his raps, it was street-based and all that, but this came as a surprise and a shock. Now, in this story, they detailed him notifying his fans. Now, in the headline, it said this. It said, Rylo Rodriguez will allegedly turn himself in this week. Now, this was back in August. And he obviously didn't turn himself in back in August or it would have made more news. And people were waiting and seeing if, he was ever going to turn himself in. It just seemed like one of those things that people were waiting on, especially his fans. It's like they've been waiting for this day and it's finally here, obviously, right? Now, it goes on to say that Rylo Rodriguez, the Mobile, Alabama rapper, most commonly associated with rap star Lil Baby, under his 4PF record label, recently posted a message on his Instagram account that has fans pondering its true meaning. The Instagram story, which was simply plain black background with white text sprawled across, said, turning myself in this week with zero clarification or follow-up. So basically leaving his fans in a place where they didn't know where this was coming from and what was going down. Like, there were no clues. Like, we didn't hear anything wild about Rylo Rodriguez in the streets getting busted for anything. We didn't hear anything hanging over his head previously or him running back and forth to court. So this basically came out of nowhere. Now, the story concludes by saying this. It is evident from the wording of the caption that Rylo has some sort of heat and attention from an undisclosed criminal activity. But there hasn't been any clear indication yet that as to what he could have been alluding to since the initial post went live. Things tend to move fast when you're in the music industry. Rylo was just spotted over the weekend shooting a music video with Lil Baby and ESTG. And like I said, that article is from back in August, so that was for the song 5500 Degrees, and they've dropped the video since then or whatnot. It went up. Now, it also says this. It says, in a recent interview with comedian Drewski, following Lil Baby's Rollin' Loud Miami performance, Rylo hinted that a new project was on the way. So obviously he has a new project that he's been promoting, and it's going to have features from 42 Dugg, Moneybagg Yo, Yo Gotti, Lil Baby, and it looks like it's going to go up, man. It's going to be something to listen to, obviously, right? Well, I know that he's been promoting the album as well as coming out after he's done with this legal situation. That's like one of the big things that he's been putting out there, right? So right now, or at least at that time, the fans, they were in the dark about what was going on, and it seems like they're still in the dark now. Because upon Rylo Rodriguez getting arrested over the weekend or prior to the weekend or whatnot, it seemed like, man, you would get more information or clarity because he's talking about dropping his album after he's done with this situation. Now, I went to looking at his information and all his arrest record and all that stuff, and when you look at it, it just simply says that he's been arrested for a parole violation, or excuse me, a probation violation. Now, a probation violation, it doesn't say to what extent, but it does have different levels listed underneath the codes or whatever, and you see one of them as M, so I'm not sure if that means misdemeanor or what that entails. Now, Lil Baby and his team are probably doing their best to make sure that they get Rylo Rodriguez up out of this situation and back in the booth and back promoting his project, because obviously that's the focal point. That's what they want to focus on right now, right? That's what they're trying to do in the future. Now, what immediately stuck out to me was where he got locked up. So he got locked up in a place called Santa Rosa County, Florida, right? Now, this is the same county. It shares like city limits, and it's inside, the Pensacola metro area, right? So Pensacola, Florida. We know that Rylo Rodriguez is from Mobile, Alabama. Now, they're about an hour apart. Mobile, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida, Middleton, Florida, and Santa Rosa, county, where the county seat is, where the county jail is, right? And it makes you wonder, was this something that happened either in Florida while Rylo Rodriguez was younger? Because he's been arrested, or according to the records, somebody with his same name, if it all lines up, was allegedly arrested for some minor infractions back in the past in that same county. So I wonder, is there some place that he used to just visit, somewhere he used to live? And where does this play in his story as an artist, man? It's interesting that it's not that far from Mobile, but we associate Rylo Rodriguez with being a Mobile artist. So maybe he spent some time as well living or growing up, or just before he blew up as Rylo Rodriguez, as we know, from Mobile, Alabama, the same artist that's associated with Lil Baby. So it's an interesting story, to say the least. But right now, that's his only charge. And the only cases you see about Rylo Rodriguez in that county, like I said, were for minor stuff, like nothing big at all, man, like traffic violations and stuff like that, allegedly. I'm not sure if that was him exactly, because even though the information out there wasn't 100. But as for now, that's what it looks like with Rylo Rodriguez. And do you guys think that he'll be able to beat this and just be right back out doing his thing as far as music? Because a probation violation sounds pretty bad, to be real. Most rappers, we hear about them getting a probation violation and it's right back to jail or whatever happens. And it's always something, major that happens for their career. It takes a major hit, or either they get past it and they go back up. You know what I mean? They go up to the level they are, or even surpass that in some rappers' case. What do you guys think will be the issue with Rylo Rodriguez? Do you think this is going to be just another stepping stone for him to get over so that way he can proceed in the rap game? Or do you feel like this is something that's going to hold him back from reaching a higher level in hip-hop? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.